Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Raj Talks Games. And today, you know what? I've talked a lot of crap on a game recently that was coming out for Switch 2. And I think I might have been wrong about this game. For every time we had seen Star Wars Outlaws up to this point, I thought it looked like a bad port. I thought it looked like it was going to run poorly. I even went out and said, guys, this game is going to be a terrible port. And, I even said on this very channel that I was not going to buy this game.
I forgot to tell you.
Yeah. I lied! Yeah, I wouldn't say it was an intentional lie. I just kind of changed my mind based on reviews that I saw for this title. I saw RGT really enjoyed it. I saw great reviews from Switch Up and Nintendo Life. And it's not a game that I hated necessarily on the PlayStation 5. But I have referred to it in certain discords as polishing a turd as far as the Nintendo Switch 2 version. But, I've got to find out for myself. So I went ahead and I picked this up. And we're going to open it right here. This is the reason games are $60 in this case. Because of this, the seal that I'm literally breaking right now. And let's see what's inside the case. See if there's any like reverse cover art, a little insert or something. That's a bonus pack there that's included. You couldn't see the code because it's not turned around that way. I will say, I do want to point out immediately, I think this cartridge here, try to get it to focus in on this. Whoop. Well, I can't get a good focus on the cartridge, but it has like the Lucasfilm logo right on top of the Ubisoft logo, and I gotta be honest, I'm not digging the look of the cartridge. But, I think it's time, what truly sold me on this game was that the handheld performance was really good. And I was like, well, I still don't think it's enough for me to buy it, because I have it on PlayStation 5. I can play it in the PlayStation 5 Pro. And then I heard the magic words, cross-progression saving. So what they're saying essentially is that I can take this game, I can play it in handheld mode on my Switch 2 anywhere I go, and then I can come home and load it right back up in my PlayStation 5 Pro and pick up where I left off playing that way. And really get the best of both worlds. I can get the PS5 Pro enhancement playing on my TV, or I can get my handheld gaming on by playing this. So here's what we're going to do. It is launch day. It is Thursday, September 4th. This just came out today. So I think what I need to do here, guys, is I need to play this game. I need to try it out. I need to check it out in handheld. And then I need to give you my thoughts on this game. So since it's September 4th, Thursday, September 4th, let me go do that. Hang on one second. I'm going to put this in the Switch. So, funny story. I got to my Switch and I looked at the screen on my TV and there was a Hollow Knight Silksong icon. So, I'm going to play that and then I'm going to record the second part of this video here in a couple days when I'm actually give myself time to try this, because I gotta play me some Silksong. But then I promise I'll play this, and before you know it, there will be impressions in your time 2 seconds from now, but in my time 3 days from now. Okay, so it is now Sunday. It is a mere couple of hours before I'm planning on releasing this video, so it's time to go ahead and talk about my experience with the Switch 2 version of Star Wars Outlaws. And yeah, guys, I can confirm I was wrong. This is definitely going up there as one of the best third-party ports on the Switch 2, which I really never thought I was going to say that based on my previous views of the game, especially what little bit we've seen and hadn't really seen anything deep dive. I said it before, this is going to be a mess report, and well, guys, it was not. And not only was it not a mess report, but I found myself enjoying the game, which, even on the PlayStation 5, I couldn't get into it, but it's not like I wasn't enjoying the game. It was fine. It just wasn't like an 8 or a 9. This game is a solid 6 or 7. I'm going to be completely honest with you. But it's still fun. Um, it's a pretty decent stealth game, if I'm being honest. Now, mind you, I'm coming off of just having beat Metal Gear Solid Delta, so it's not exactly, going to be a 10 out of 10 for me. So that may actually have lowered it. I don't want to put it that wrong because I haven't beat it. This is really more first impression with the Switch 2 version. And I've only played a few hours. But I found myself doing that fun, and I'm starting to get invested in what's going on with Kay. Like, she seems to be a pretty cool character. I think it's probably going to be, it's probably going to land on the 7 range for me. You got to keep in mind, when the game initially launched on the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox, the reviews were a little more scathing because of the more stealth section, because of all the issues that were going on with that aspect of the game that were, really dragging it down. And, Ubisoft did correct those. They did take a lot of that stuff out of the game, they patched it up, they made it a lot better. So as far as is the game going to be worth my time, if you like stealth games, yeah, and if you like Star Wars, quite possibly. You just got to get over the fact that you're not going to play as Jedi. This is not going to be as good of a game as like Jedi Fallen Order or Jedi Survivor. But looking past those things, you're still getting this nice Star Wars setting with a fun main protagonist. And Nick's a pretty cool guy too, like him. But that's really not the whole point of this review. Like this review, I'm not gonna call it a review. It's not a review. It's not. I'm not gonna sit here and give a review. This is not. This is impressions. So the whole point of these impressions is to talk about the Switch 2 graphical fidelity, the performance, and like as far as that's concerned, this is solid. This is actually a very good port. I did several things when I was spending my time with the game. I tried some vehicle sections where I was driving my speeder bike. I entered a few heavy combat situations. I was in multiple situations where there were several enemies on the screen where I was, obviously using stealth because it was a stealth game. And I kept waiting. I'm like, okay, this performance is going to go to shit. This is going to drop. This runs a solid 30, first of all, which is fine. I'm one that's like, I've never minded 30 frames per second, especially if it's smooth but steady as long as it's locked. And especially in the heavy combat section, and B, the speeder bike section, I'm like, okay, this is where we're going to drop. We're going to see like 20 frames per second. We're going to see 15 frames per second. It's going to be bad. And I'll be damned, guys, not one time did it drop. Like, this is a locked, super steady 30 frames. So for this type of a game, would 60 be more ideal? Sure. But if I want to play 60, it's no problem because this is cross-save with the PlayStation version. So I just gotta throw my save up in the cloud and, load a PlayStation 5 version, boom, right there. In fact, I actually went ahead and downloaded the game on the PlayStation 5 out of my library because I anticipate, playing a lot on my TV on the PlayStation 5. But that's not to say, like, I did try docked version on the Switch too. So I did play the game docked. I also played handheld. And they both ran really well. Like, I was very pleased with the performance of the game. And graphically, like, truthfully, it didn't look as bad as I thought it was going to. There were several areas in the game where, like, the ray tracing was actually pretty nice, which is surprising out of the Switch 2 version compared to the PlayStation 5. I think my biggest issue graphically with the game on the Switch 2 is just kind of in the character models. Like, the hair is, obviously, the hair's kind of blocky, which obviously you're not going to see those fine strands of hair like you would see in the PlayStation 5 or Xbox version. It's just not going to happen because that's not how this game is built. But, for the most part, the game environments look pretty nice. And the cities were looking pretty decent, and the open world still looked pretty good. Pop-in was very limited, which was another issue I expected to have, but it just, wasn't there. So, if you're a Star Wars fan, I gotta say, like, I'd probably recommend this to you, especially if you go in with the anticipation, like, you gotta know you're going in. Like, you're not gonna get big time, Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor storytelling. You're not gonna get as charming of characters as in that game. But, K-Boss is a cool protagonist, as I said it before. And, the gameplay is cool. The gameplay is enjoyable. Graphical, like, what level is it at? So I'll make this comparison because I did play the demo yesterday for Daemon X Machina. And I can definitely confirm that it's not a game for me. I just wasn't feeling that one at all. But, the game absolutely does graphically look better than Daemon X Machina. So, you're already getting improvement on that. But, don't go in expecting it to look as good as something like Donkey Kong Bonanza or WWE 2K25, which, those are both, kind of, in my opinion, some of the better graphical games on the Switch 2. Now, where does this land, like, as far as ports are concerned? Because we have a lot of big third-party titles. So this, in my opinion, this is up there with, as I said before, with WWE 2K25 and with Street Fighter 6. Like, these are what Switch 2 ports should look like. This is what we should be getting as far as big next-gen games on the Switch 2, as far as, like, third-party stuff is concerned. Because this is, like, the first, other than, like, WWE, this is, like, the first next-gen game that we've, gotten on the Switch 2 that didn't have a previous gen version. So, I'm going to quote my buddy Monatomax, friend of the channel, in saying this was probably one of the most important third-party titles in the early going of the Switch 2, just because it kind of sets the bar as to what we should be expecting out of third-party titles. Give us more things like this and more things like WWE 2K25, which is an incredible port if you haven't played it already. I don't know that I really talked much about WWE that I did a short on my unboxing. But like that game's like insane how good the Switch 2 version of it is. It looks almost as good as the PS5 version, and it runs amazingly. So, yeah, guys, that's my first thoughts on Star Wars Outlaws. Thanks for watching, as always. Like the channel, subscribe. We're like 2 away from 100. We're at 98 as of last night. So I'd love to hit the 100 mark this week. That'll be a massive milestone for the channel. And join our Discord. You'll see the link down below in the description of the video. If I forget to put that down there, then I'm an idiot, because I'm literally getting ready to upload this. I've just got to add this and edit it into the end of what I've already filmed for the video. So we'll see what happens there. But anyways, guys, I've been rambling on that. And until next time, we'll see you.